Honestly, college doesn't matter. Your skill set matters. And in today's world, I don't think there is a constraint when it comes to expanding your skill set, because internet is all you need.
Hmm. Hello, welcome to ERAM Spotlight, a podcast that brings you successful stories of students who are tech enthusiasts and entrepreneurs. I'm Sneha and I'll be your host today. Our Veni partner is Kokarma. Today we have Usha. Hello, Usha. Usha Sai, Usha Sai is currently pursuing MS by Research in Computer Science and Engineering at IIIT Hyderabad. She has a passion for research and is currently working as a research intern at Smart City Living Labs. Usha Sai is dedicated to using her skills and knowledge to contribute to the advancement of technology and improve people's life through her work. So, hello Usha. Please go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I'm Sayusha. I'm currently pursuing my master's at IIIT Hyderabad. Mine is a research oriented course. My focus is on intelligent transportation systems, specific to developing traffic flow forecasting models for Indian context roads. Obviously, like there are models for foreign scenarios, but given our road context and the way we drive, so there is altogether a different necessity for developing models for Indian road scenarios. That is where I work. And prior to that, I did my graduation in ACE Engineering College in the branch of Electronics and Communication Engineering. I already like have some work experience of an year or so in Accenture's Private Limited. And later, as you mentioned, I worked as a research intern in Smart City Research Center. I quit my job after a year to pursue my passion towards research.
Okay. So, what exactly inspired you to pursue this career?
To be honest, before I joined engineering, I had zero interest towards technology. Okay, I am sure that is the case with most of the students who take engineering. It's just the society norms or whatsoever. People choose engineering. That's totally fine. In the due process, I'm sure students will figure out their interest. That's what happened to me in my third year, I guess, or second year ending. I started working on this IoT related projects and participated in hackathons, where there in which I got the drive. So when I'm like working and developing some small circuit or something, the moment I'm seeing a result, it is the happiness which I got after that, it's different. And when we won hackathons after like 2 3 days of night outs and all, that adrenaline rush, everything, it's next level. So after that, that is when I found that okay, this is my area where I want to like dwell deeper. That I mean, but after fourth year, like everyone, I ended up with same story. I got some service based company. I joined there, but again there I had to take a step that this is saturated. I want to do something more. In the peak of COVID, I quit my job where people were losing jobs. I don't know with what confidence I quit my job during that time, and I joined Smart City Research Center. So it's fine if people, you don't have any strong feeling towards anything, or say engineering. Even people are not sure why they choose ECE or CSE or civil. They just chose because their cousin or their friend or somebody chose that branch. That's perfectly fine, but in the due process, make sure you are exposed to things, exposed to technology per se, and you will figure out what you want to do in those 4 years.
Okay. So, as you have mentioned, you started getting into projects in second or third year. What exactly was your college experience like in first, second, third, and fourth? How was it for you?
In first year, I was a complete nerd. I was just focusing on academics. Like I just used to study textbooks. I did get a good percentage at the end of JNTU, third or something I got. But again, that did not give me any like happiness, honestly speaking. So second year, second semester onwards, I formed a team. That again is very important. Having that right set of people around you is very important. Luckily I found two of my friends who had same interest as me. We formed a team, and from there we started participating in college level hackathons. We even went to like other states, like I participated in IIT Kharagpur, IIT Bombay, and IIT BHU, that is the Banaras Hindu
Banaras.
University. So few I won, few I lost, but everything at the end was and taught me some or the other thing. And in the due process, I picked up this interest towards traveling as such, in these 3 or 4 trips which I went. So yeah.
So as you told, you got a good team in your college. What would you say? Like, how important is that the environment that is around you and the friend circle that you have?
See, if I didn't had a team, maybe for 1 or 2 hackathons, I will go alone and I will just leave it over there. That motivation, you have to like share that vibe should be there around you. And the college management also played a good role in my case. At least my HOD was very supportive. Even if I didn't attend few classes, he was fine with it. So, but you have to like communicate with your management even if you want to pursue something other than academics. I'm sure no faculty or no HOD will be against it, but you make sure you communicate with your professors and do participate in more hackathons. Even if you're not having a team, I would say if you attend these events and such, you will find people with similar interests, so that's how your network will increase. And in the coming hackathons, maybe you can form a team, and that's happened as well in our case. We also formed team with other college students and participated in inter-level competitions. I will again reiterate, these 2 3 years where I worked on projects was the driving thing for me getting into research. Otherwise I would have ended up in any other service based company.
Yeah, so you have mentioned that you have worked on many projects and all. So what was the most challenging one for you?
See, now the projects which I'm working are real-time projects. I have to collect the real-time traffic data in Gachibowli Junction, which is like always, with full of traffic. Around 16 lakh vehicles go from that junction every day because of Nanakaram district, IT sector, etc. I mean, that is challenging, but now I know how to figure out those challenges. So if you ask me what is the toughest thing, I would say my first project, that is line follower project. N number of times we fixed the circuit and all, but by the time we put it on the arena, it used to fail. Okay, it used to fail. Yeah, something used to get short circuit because that time I had no experience. So my first project is like the challenging project till
Okay.
now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do you think is the most exciting development in tech industry right now, according to?
Hands down, ChatGPT.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's amazing. Like some of the research questions which I couldn't figure out, I like just put in the chat, and it like the answers which it gives make complete sense. So the kudos to NLP. In the recent times, the developments in natural language processing was like immense.
Okay.
So in the last few years, I think the ChatGPT is something which revolutionized everything, be
Okay.
it academics or anything. Everybody is using ChatGPT.
Yeah. So how do you balance your technical skills with soft skills such as communication and collaboration and all of that?
As I told in the hackathons and all, even if you like make a prototype, unless you demonstrate in a way that judges or anyone get convinced, they will not really like appreciate your work. Not only in that, even if you go for jobs or even if you are in research to propose your publications, to attend conferences, soft skills matter a lot. Because after a point, even if you're so technically sound, unless you showcase it, nobody will really appreciate it. Soft skill doesn't only mean the communication skills. Like I feel working in a team, say, no, I'm sure you will have to disagree with your teammates a lot of times. That's totally fine. but again, you should be able to communicate your point no matter what. That is also a soft skill. So team working and you're properly able to communicate, all this come with experience. It's fine even if you don't have at the beginning of your undergrad, but get exposed to these events and all. This in the due process only people will learn. That's how I learned.
Okay. So, how do you what do you do to avoid burnout and stay motivated in your work?
In research, that is very common because we work on like few problems and we reach a dead end. So it's like you feel that life is gone, like life came to an end. But those are the times you should have some interest. Recently, I started one Instagram page. I post few videos, do video editing, that kind of work which I do apart from my research. And in triple IT, we usually have deadlines at 12 in the night. So after the deadline, we go on a bike ride. So that something, anything which keeps your mind, fresh.
Yeah.
At least for me, that
So you have
drives
done a
me.
lot of research, right, till
Yes.
now. What was the most interesting one for you, like while doing it and even publishing it out?
Okay, I'll tell you two. One is bike safety related project, where we developed a set of sensors deployed on the two-wheeler. There is a lot of work when it comes to four-wheelers, but two-wheelers, there is that area is very less explored. And India, not only in India, Pakistan and this Indonesia, these countries use two-wheelers, in a significant number compared to four-wheelers, which is more common in the West.
Yeah.
But in our two-wheeler safety, there is like very very limited safety precautions. In cars you can see airbags deployment, etc., etc., but there is nothing in case of two-wheelers.
Two-wheelers.
But to identify whether an accident occurred or not is my research area. For that I've been using deep learning models. So that work recently got published in a conference as well. So it basically understands what the driver movement is at that current point of time. So if there is an accident because of the change in accelerometer and gyro values, it will like alert based on the GPS location. It will be alerting the nearby hospitals or something. So this is a proposal which is funded by some of the companies. So we have some tie-ups as well. So because now the electric vehicles, EVs are very much prevalent in the market. So our next goal is to embed this technology into the two-wheeler thing. And the other thing is, as I mentioned in the beginning, the traffic flow forecasting thing. We had to deploy cameras literally near the junctions to understand the vehicular count. There again, the numbers, Indian numbers, are nowhere comparable to the foreign. We trained our models on the foreign data set, but those models didn't work for Indian context. So these are my two problem statements which I'm working on currently.
Okay. So basically, you are AI/ML enthusiast, we can say. Like, so there's like a coding part of it and then the research part of it. So what is the difference between both of them, and like what is, according to you, what should a student do if they have to go for coding, and what about research?
Okay, so if you're from a CS background, I would say I would like sincerely request to start your competitive programming thing at the end of your second year or say third year. I did that mistake. I did not do competitive programming. I mean, there are many sites available, Hacker Earth or Hacker Rank. I did not do that. So if you want to crack a product-based company or a decent company, the first round is the coding round. So you should develop your skills towards coding in the early stages of your undergrad, so that by the time you graduate or you are looking for placements, it will be like not a big burden to do the coding rounds. So if you again want to come into research, coding is just one of the skills you need. Apart from coding, you have to have more problem solving. I'm sure coding, competitive programming will teach you a lot of problem solving, because that's what you do end of the day, and put it in the form of code. So problem solving skill is the most critical thing in case of research. If students are looking to come to research, problem solving, that again comes when you do more projects and you solve some logical coding questions. So it's like balance of both.
And the research part, how will that go?
A research part, you should, the first thing you should have is patience in research. That I understood in the last 2 years. You have to read lots of papers, already published works.
Okay.
For that you need a certain amount of patience to understand that. And because that might not be your expertise, but still, to use that work, you have to patiently sit, read those papers, and figure out a problem statement that the writers of that paper did not think, that perspectives you should extract, and that dots you have to connect. It's a process. I can like go on.
Okay. So basically, you're from ACE Engineering College, right? It is a third tier students, and we are Spotlight. We are mainly
Yeah,
focusing on that part of our life. Like even though we have been from the third tier college, what made us extraordinary from the rest of the students, and what has been successful for us. So could you like more elaborate how was your college experience on that terms, and how was it different from the other students and all of that?
So, as I told, yeah, in the beginning, I had no interest towards engineering. I thought of doing some degree and prepare for civils, but I did not get any NIT or IIT. I ended up in a tier 3 college. In the first year, I was like very sad, sulking about the college, that why am I here and all that. But complaining is not the solution. It's fine. Even tier 3 students, they're not only me, like many of my friends who are my batchmates, they are doing their PhDs as well now. So that doesn't matter. Honestly, college doesn't matter. Your skill set matters. And in today's world, I don't think there is a constraint when it comes to expanding your skill set, because internet is all you need. So the college thing doesn't matter, honestly. Even we had no support from our college that time. Back in 2017 or so, IoT was not even a thing that time. We read some hackster or some websites which were popular that time. Internet was our source. So that's how we started. We did a lot of mistakes. We burned so many circuits. That's totally fine. Again, the college did not come into picture at any point of the time. It is our interest and our skill set which made us where we are today. So college background will not matter. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so you learned everything by yourself and the team that you had, right? So, like, what was the resources that were existing online? Definitely, but then the motivation also, and then maybe some mentor or someone who you had, and all of that.
Luckily, in my college, I had one senior. I want to take his name as well, Dheeraj Anna. He was the only senior who did such projects. He was my super senior. We had no interaction with him, but luckily we got connected in some hackathon. So from there, he has been our mentor. Whenever we are stuck with some code or something, we used to go, and he used to be like our problem solver. Even till now, we like look up to him, because he was there when nothing was working for us. He was there. We used to always look up to him, that even he was from the same college. When he is able to do, we will definitely be able to do. And he also never uh, told that if this doesn't work, this is like gone. You like the senior thing comes over there with experience. He believed that at one or the other time that we will also be successful. He is actually doing his PhD now. So yeah,
Yeah.
he was there for
Yeah.
us.
So all of like through all of the projects that you have worked, the research work, what has kept you motivated to go through all of them? Like
As I told in the
one
beginning,
till we reach a point we might be like very tired and all of that. What keeps you motivated?
yes, the end output. My area is, in the beginning it was IoT. So when I see the actual data coming, that is a happiness. When the circuit which I connected is actually working, then it is showing some impact. That is my motivation for anything. The end outcome is what keeps me driven throughout the process. And in the due process, I started liking the process. So
Okay.
even if there is no solution also, I'm fine. Recently I read one article, in research, even if there is no result, it is a result that
Okay.
okay, this didn't work. That is also a result. So process, in the due process, you will enjoy the process. So
Yeah. So you have even been taking workshops and sessions and all of that. So how did you get into it, and how, what made you do that, think that this is something that I should do and all of that?
So teaching is one thing which I used to like, from my plus one, plus two. I used to do tutoring as well. So there is this teaching assistant thing in many of the universities, which is not that common in our colleges, but in IITs and triple IITs that is common. There will be a teaching assistant for every course. So since my expertise in the beginning was on IoT, I used to do teaching assistantship for many of the IoT courses for triple IT students.
Okay.
So, and now there are other workshops based on IoT, speech recognition, etc., etc., for tier 3 colleges. The idea behind is to bring students from other colleges and motivate them towards research. Recently, I went to Kakinada as well, to motivate the girl students over there towards research, with the help of these courses. So, and that's how they get exposed to triple IT culture, the research culture. And if their students like it, they will continue as research assistants or project assistants, and
Yeah.
they will get into careers.
Yeah. So basically, students, they have to take part in activities and all of that, and even in communities and maybe clubs and all that. What do you think about that? Like, how important it is or how effective it is?
See, like, in our colleges we might have clubs that again is limited to our resources, but to get more exposure, you have to get out of your comfort zone, participate in these research workshops if you are interested in research. Otherwise, these hackathons, see, even if nothing comes out, you can put it in your resume. End of the day, it will make your profile stand out from other people. I've seen, like, for smart city, when I was working in smart city, I did interview few of the people there. Many of them like graduated engineering, etc., etc., but there are only few set of students whose profile stands out. That reason is they have participated in this extracurricular activities, uh, specific to these projects, not like the debates as such. Obviously they will help, but technology related activities or projects will give more weightage to your resume. So that is important. So I get exposure is the most critical thing. For that, events are just one way. The thing which you are doing, EDAM is doing, it will obviously make people aware of things, I'm sure.
Yeah. Getting into a product-based company, what do you think? What is a path that a student should take, and maybe improving the skills and all? What?
Yes. So for any product based company, competitive programming is the key. Recently, there were placements as well at my college. Even there, competitive programming is the key skill set. See, if you don't cross that first coding round, how much ever research papers you have, or how much skill set you have in that particular technology, doesn't matter. You have to cross this coding round. That is the case with most of the companies. So why to wait till the end? Start coding, start this hacker rank or hacker earth, lead code, etc., from your third year itself. In the end of second year by 2 2, the mistake I did is I did not decide what to do until fourth year. Okay, so please uh, don't do that. At the end of your second year, second semester, just get a clarity on what you want to do after your graduation. So after that, if your aim is to get into product based companies, do coding, do excessive amount of coding. That will fetch you a job definitely.
Do you think there is a preference should be given to product based more than service based? Like, what's the difference, and why should a student prefer any of them?
See, I worked in a service-based company. In service-based company, the work becomes routine after a point of time. You will be using the same set of softwares, and after that, you will not your knowledge base will not expand. And people who are driven towards this knowledge and technology thing, they will not be liking the job that much. So for them, something challenging is what they'll be looking for, and product based companies usually meet those requirements. They will have to upgrade their skill set every now and then, and product based companies do pay well compared to service based companies, so that could be one reason.
What about something in startup companies or something?
Yeah, startups is like, if you're beginning your at the beginning of your career, starting your career from a startup is the best thing, because it will help you in n number of ways. Number one, you will be aware of all the XYZ technologies which the startup is using. Number two, you will micromanage stuff. In well established companies, there will be a manager on top of you who will be micromanaging you. But in startups, since the headcount is less, you will be micromanaging everything. And thirdly, your communication skills, soft skills, I feel they will become more better if you work in startup, because end of the day you will be directly interacting with the clients compared to the other service based companies. So I feel at any day, starting your career in startup is a good choice, though you might get paid a bit less, but you should think of the long run fruits which it will give. So it's not always the easy path is not the best path. Over time I felt that the difficult path is the best path. Quitting Accenture was a difficult thing, but I felt over time now I'm in a better place. So yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What's the importance of networking for you? Like, now everyone says networking is some. It's like a trending word right now.
Back in 2019, I didn't know what LinkedIn was. Okay, honestly, my friend often quotes, yeah, even if you have a Facebook account or not, it doesn't matter, but having LinkedIn account and having LinkedIn connections is more important. So I've seen many people who are from tier 3 college, just because they had good connections on LinkedIn, they did end up getting in companies like Google, Amazon, etc. So LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. If you are not able to attend these XYZ events physically, you still can network with people on LinkedIn, and you can make connections with people of your interest and do approach them how to improve your skill set. And definitely, and people are good, like if they are always ready to help. At least the people I came across over LinkedIn, they were very the suggestions they gave were very honest and helpful. So make LinkedIn connections, be active on LinkedIn, if not on Facebook. So be active on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So, a student who's first year who doesn't have any much knowledge of a technical aspect, what would you advise them to do? Like, what should they exactly do?
I mean, see, first year, don't be hard on yourself. Take it easy. Focus on your academics on first year at least. Then the labs which you have to finish, focus on that. Make your basics straight in the first year. Many of us engineers, even though like we are at good places, we still lack basics. Okay, so I feel in the first year is the time where you should set your basics right. I'm not sure how our intermediate education quality is. Irrespective of that, since we came into this engineering field, we should have our basics right. So first year, please focus on the basics.
Okay. So as you're a researcher, so I would like to ask, like, what your advice or tips you would like to give someone who's just starting out in the same field,
Mm-hmm.
and what are the important things that you wish they had known, or you had known when you started your career?
See, when it comes to research, you should be more focused on a particular thing. In the beginning, I was focused sometime on IoT, sometime on AIML, sometimes on Edge. That will not help because research needs complete attention to that particular problem statement. So if you are like getting into research, I would suggest first do some research internships in labs. So this thing I was not sure when I graduated. IISc Bangalore, Triple IT Hyderabad, IIT Kharagpur, all these have certain labs where they look for interns and they hire students from tier 3 colleges or any college for that matter. They go there for 6 months to internship, and that's when they get exposed to the research culture. And then you can make a better judgment whether you are into research or not.
Okay.
So that 6 months internship will help you in either ways. You will anyway end up getting more knowledge about the technology, but on the other hand, you will know whether you want to get into research or not. So IISc Bangalore offers these project assistant programs
Okay.
for students. So
Hmm.
there, I mean, you can mail professors. This also I did not do. You can just go to the university profile and see the list of professors and the areas they are working, and you just have to cold mail them. And not every professor will get back to you, but out of 10, at least 2, 3 will get back to you. And who knows?
Yeah.
That could be that the same thing happened to me. I just
Mhm.
mailed randomly, and I ended up in Triple IT.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. What advice would you give yourself when you were starting off,
Okay.
as maybe mentally or like technically as well?
Hmm. Coming to technical thing, I used to feel that since I'm in EC, coding is not needed for me. That mindset we should change. Even though you're from EC, CS, or civil, coding is needed for everyone. At one point of the or the other, you will encounter this thing. So I would have started doing coding from beginning of my
Okay.
undergrad or something. Mentally, yes, while working in hackathons, I had a lot of burnouts. We lost few competitions where we put in a lot of our efforts, money, everything.
Hmm.
So that is like kind of very demotivating. That time I didn't know how to handle and all. Now I see a failure every day, but that time it was a big thing. So maybe it's fine even if you fail. That advice I would have given to myself.
Okay. Last question maybe. What's the one advice you would like to give all engineering students right now?
Hmm. So as I told, first year chill, no worries, take it easy, get your basics right. From second year onwards, try going to the events, be it in your college or in other colleges. Get yourself exposed to various things happening in the world, and at the end of second year or so, do some internship, be it in a company or in a university. Do some internship, maybe there you will try to understand what you really like. And it's fine even if people want to go do MBA after engineering. Even that you will like in the due process, that you will understand that I like this managerial roles and stuff. Just get exposed to understand what you like, not to gain something, but to understand what you like. You need some kind of exposure. So in third year, start actually putting your ideas into implementation. Be it if you want to do some projects, start working on projects. If you want to enhance your coding skill, get your hands dirty by doing coding. And if you again want to get into some foreign university, try giving GRE and all way ahead before the applications.
Hmm.
So 2 you should decide in the two, and by the end of 2 you should decide what you want to do. Third year you should be actually implementing it, and fourth year is the time where you have to decide, like, okay, this or that. You should decide among the options. Fourth year should not be the time where you figure out what you want to do, because you will not have the time to implement what you want to do, because you'll be done.
Yeah. So it was a great talk, Usha. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on
Thanks a
Edan
lot.
Spotlight.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, this is the end of the session. You can find us on Spotify,